sports guru back once again. Now today we are going to do a series called What Could Have Been, which we did back in 2022. Did one show on Christian Okoye, a couple of other professional athletes. But we're going to continue that series here in 2023 with your boy. Today we're going to highlight Randy Macho Man Savage. Yes, you heard me correctly. Randy Macho Man Savage. Now, you may be asking yourself, why are we doing wrestling? We never do wrestling on here. What a lot of you might not know is Randy Macho Man Savage used to play professional baseball, aka Randy Popo. That is his born name, his birth name, Randy Popo. But yeah, he played professional baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals single A farm system, and he also played for my little ESPN notifications. Always got to stay alert on breaking news. He also played for the Cincinnati Reds farm system. Now, believe it or not, well, before we get into that, I want to pay a little quick tribute. Always love Macho Man, probably top 5 wrestlers for me all time. He was the originator, along with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, with that real kooky, the word I want to use is not politically correct anymore, so I'm not going to use that word. He was Will Ferrell-like in his wrestling banter, shall I say, when he was doing interviews and stuff like that. So here's a little taste of that real quick. Here's a clip of Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. Take a look at this.
Me and Gene, we really don't know what we're dealing with here, man. And I'm just kind of a little worried about locking up here.
It's all right.
Because we just might blow the whole planet up, you know. Everybody knows that Hulkamania is the strongest force in this universe. But when I hit that ring and I saw what the madness was all about, I realized there was a whole nother universe out there, a whole nother frontier, and the power of the madness and the mania just blew my 24-inch guns out, man.
You mean to tell me there is another solar system, Macho Man?
Unbelievable. I'm still in a state of shock right now.
In fact, I don't think I'm going to be coming down for a long period of time. Yeah, reckless abandon is what I used to be. Yeah, but Elizabeth opened up my eyes, and the big man right here, the big man, yeah, he endorsed Macho Man this, and he gave me direction. Yeah. Reckless abandon used to be, but direction now with the mega powers, yeah. Mega powers, yeah. I feel the power now. I feel the power right there, big man.
Sure, it wasn't a hit over the head, Macho Man.
Oh, no, man, I'm all right.
I've never been better, yeah. Don't you worry about the hit over the head, man. I'm just worried about where we're going from here. Is it this stratosphere, man? Is it the ionosphere with the madness and the mania as one guiding force? We could go ahead and take the whole
I cannot believe this. And all that has happened here on Saturday night's main event. The Mega Powers, the Madness, Macho Man Randy Savage, and the heavyweight champion.
Just some classic stuff right there. I mean, I can watch that all day and just get goosebumps watching and die laughing. Absolutely hilarious. Anyway, running on with Macho Man Randy Savage. He was a 2-time All-Star catcher in high school, but he failed to get the attention of any team during the 1971 draft. His father, Angelo Popo, and for you guys who don't know, his father was also a professional wrestler for like 30 plus years. 3 decades he used to wrestle. So he had the wrestling thing in his genes already. So the story goes, he drives Randy all the way to St. Louis for an open tryout. And roughly about 300 hopefuls, they were all trying to get the Cardinals' attention. Now, if you guys don't know, like I said, like I always say, I played baseball from youth going all the way up through college. I've heard about these tryouts. Now in Connecticut, they have a team, well, they used to be here, called the Bridgeport Bluefish. And every year they would have one of these tryouts. They make you pay some money, and if you're good enough, they'll offer one person a contract. Needless to say, most of the time I think it was a money grab because nobody ever got paid, ever. So to see this story about Macho Man, it makes me say to myself, yo, this dude must have been pretty good to get the only contract out of 300 hopefuls. Pretty amazing. Papa was the only one of them to get a contract for $500 a month. And if somebody can let me know, how much is $500 a month in today's currency? I'm just curious because $500 a month is nothing to live off of. Now, I don't know how you would kind of project out into the future when somebody's just coming into single A baseball. I, I'm pretty sure that it's difficult to know if Macho Man Randy Popo would have had a real baseball career. Injuries caused him to miss time. He also was a catcher and an outfielder, and a collision at the plate damaged his shoulder. Now, in Randy Macho Man Savage fashion, he didn't let that stop him though. Macho madness, as he tried to throw left-handed instead of righty. This wasn't a new trick of his though, as in high school he taught himself how to be ambidextrous and throw with his left hand. So Macho Man's logic pretty much was, why waste my arm? Because by all accounts, his right arm was a cannon. His former teammates basically said 9 times out of 10, he's going to throw the ball back to the pitcher harder than the pitcher is throwing to the catcher. And a lot of accounts of him throwing it from the outfield and throwing it all the way to home plate on a straight line, which is very hard to do unless you have an elite arm, which by all accounts that he did. He also had power, or at least the potential for power. But a combination of holes in the swing and a pitcher-friendly home park and the minors kept it from fully materializing before he called it a career. It should be noted too that the future Savage is playing at the rookie league level, and players just aren't developed enough to have in-game power at an early stage in their career unless they're superstars, which he clearly wasn't. I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't be shocked to hear this, but Papa was in tremendous shape even as a baseball player. Like when people saw him, they knew that he was in the lifted weights because he was already pretty ripped. And those who played against him remember how intense and determined he was to succeed in his profession of choice. It wasn't enough to keep him in the Cardinals organization for very long though. Papa was cut after 2 seasons while only making it to A-ball, but he caught on briefly with the Reds as a 21-year-old before moving into wrestling full-time in 1975. All told, Savage batted .254, had an on-base percentage of .346 and an OPS of .391, with 16 homers and just over 1,000 plate appearances. That might not sound like much at all, but remember how the game has changed over the years. A .240 average, .324 on-base percentage, and a .318 line was the league average in the Florida State League, where Randy Popo played his final year of professional ball, and he put up superior numbers. His last year, he actually hit 9 home runs. So he was hitting above average by a lot. He was 14 points above average on his hitting average. He was above 20 plus points on the on-base percentage and up like 80-something points on the OPS. Or was that the slugging percentage? I think slugging percentage might be the last one. Somebody tell me that also. Is it batting average, on-base percentage, slugging, or OPS? I'm not sure. Either way, it's pretty impressive. Excuse me. Nobody was going to do anything about him being slow as a turtle. He wasn't a fast guy. Very, very, very slow. But there were ways to fix his long and twitchy swing enough, especially since his walk suggests he already seemed to have somewhat of an eye for hitting. A lot of scouts felt like they can translate the swing that he had with his power into a professional career. As a matter of fact, Randy Savage was one of the first ones a lot of people have ever seen that used a tire tied up to a tree and just used that to build his power by swinging into the tire. And this was back in 1970. I don't know if he created it, but one of his teammates, who's now a coach in the minor league, says he adopted it. He had never seen it. And he adopted it, and he's coaching the Lakeland, I don't know what the name of their team is, but it's in Lakeland, and he's coach of that team. And he says to this day, he still uses that technique of swinging into the tire to build up power. So to sum it up, he was a determined worker, definitely had some pop. He had a solid eye, maybe 1+ tool if his arm is as good as they say it was. Maybe he wasn't going to be a star like he was a wrestler, but you wonder if he stuck it out, if he stuck to the game that he loved initially. Now, he always loved wrestling, but he said baseball was his first love. If he would have stuck to that, would he have been able to fulfill his dream as a professional baseball player? And wouldn't it have been crazy to see Randy Poffo, aka Randy Macho Man Savage, as a Cincinnati Red playing catcher? Wouldn't that be crazy? Just thinking about it. If he was, if he didn't get hurt, who knows what would happen? You ask him, he believes that wrestling was his destiny. He doesn't really put too much stock in what could have happened, but he feels like wrestling was in his blood, and he feels like he made the right decision by giving it up after he got injured, after the Cincinnati Reds let him go. But a lot of people that he played with, they definitely said that they think he could have definitely made an impact in baseball. It would have been very interesting to see. But anyway, I hope I gave you guys a little tidbit of information you probably didn't have before you watched this show. I know before I read this, I did not know that Macho Man played baseball. And to read up on it and see that he had a pretty successful career right before he went on to start his legendary, iconic wrestling career. Now, before we take off, I'm going to give one more salute to Randy Macho Man Savage. Rest in peace, Macho Man. Play this last little clip, and we'll be right back.
It's a day that I'm certain my guest at this time will not forget. I'm talking about the former Intercontinental Champion of the world, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Nothing means nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing means nothing, man.
Nothing means nothing. What do you mean by that?
More, I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. Macho Madness, yeah, has got more to offer than President Jack Tunney thinks that I got, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. Cards stacked against the Macho Man Randy Savage in WrestleMania 3. Yeah, let me say it, yeah. Let me say it out loud. And let me point to the president of the World Wrestling Federation. The Macho Man Randy Savage is not happy with your decision, yeah. I am the cream in the World Wrestling Federation.
Wait a minute, Frank.
And there is no doubt about it, yeah. You, Mean Gene Okerlund, you know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Oh, wait a minute, though, Randy. I've got to ask you very seriously. Do you blame Mr. Jack Tunney, the distinguished president of the World Wrestling Federation, for Ricky Steamboat being the Intercontinental Champion today?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Outside interference.
Gotta love you some Macho Man. Gotta love you. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Once again, I'll be back. This is KJ, the Sports Guru. If you guys want some more of these, some sports stories that you haven't heard of, please let me know in the comment if there's anybody you guys want me to research and do a show on. But other than that, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next week. Once again, this is KJ, the Sports Guru. This is What Could Have Been, and this is Sports Fans Only. I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.